What's going on, guys? It's Groove, back with another video, and today we have the 38 letters from J.D Rockefeller to his son. As you can see behind me, I like reading biographies of successful people, wealthy people, powerful people, and so I came across this biography of J.D Rockefeller, and so after I added this to the basket, this guy got recommended to me, and I was like, ooh, okay. 38 letters from J.D Rockefeller to his son, John Rockefeller Jr. I was like, what's in that? What's he talking about? What kind of letters is he, what kind of information is he giving his son? Like, what's going on? So I picked that up and I was really surprised about what's inside this. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of his spicier letters have been left out, but there's still a lot that we can learn from these letters, that we can apply to our own lives. If you don't know, the Rockefellers are probably one of the most wealthiest families in the world, even till today. Fun fact, Antarctica is a neutral continent, and a bunch of different countries have base camps down there, and they do experiments in, harsh climate weather conditions. That's why they say they're down there. But again, fun fact, this family has their own base camp down there. So if I was a billionaire, you're a billionaire, we wanted to go down there and we were like, hey, we're going to fund our expedition. I'm going to get my boat together. I'm going to get my crew and all my items together. I want to go down there and explore Antarctica. The governments would say no. The UN, the United Nations would say, no, you can't go there. But this family has their own base camp down there. It's a nice little interesting fun fact. So in this video, we're just going to go over letter 1. And letter 1 is your starting points do not determine your end points. So he first starts talking about how the American belief is that we are all created equal. Now he says that this is in rights and laws only. Everybody starts off differently. If you think about life as like a mountaintop, some people's parents climb that mountain and now they're at the peak. So now their kids are starting out at the peak. Some people are still at the base of the mountain, and so their kids are at the base of the mountain. So again, he says that, we're only equal when it comes to rights and laws, but everybody starts out differently, and some people do have more advantages than others because of what their parents have done. When I first read that paragraph, the thing I thought about was LeBron. So LeBron James just got his son into the league. It's 2024 as of this recording. LeBron James just got his son into the league, and everybody's complaining like, oh, he's not good enough. He shouldn't be in the league. He only got there because of his father. But this is what you're supposed to do as a parent. You're supposed to put your kids on. If you have a business, you're supposed to give them a leg up and have them work for you. This is what the people who own these teams, this is what they're doing with their kids. If I own the Houston Rockets, my kid is going to work in the organization and one day own it as well. Like, this is what you're supposed to do in business and in life. You're supposed to give your kids a leg up. And so he talks about that. He's like, hey, like, people start at different points and you're supposed to give your kids a leg up. You're supposed to, have your kids do better than other people. Everybody shouldn't just be the same. If you've busted your butt to become somebody or to become successful or to work your way up in life, your kids should have an advantage over other people. That's just how it is. But saying all that, he goes to say that just because, your parents determine your starting point doesn't mean that your end point has to be that. If your parents are poor, it doesn't mean that you have to be poor. Your life is going to be poor. He said that's just the starting point. But if you work hard and if you're determined and dedicated to get out of your situation, you can get out of it. And he also rags on a lot of rich people. He hung out with nothing but wealthy people, and these people's kids, because of the privilege, they would get lazy. And so they would either mess up the money or they just wouldn't be motivated enough to go after it and to get to that next level themselves. And so he said he actually really admires poor people because they have that tenacity. They have that go-get-it attitude, that motivation, that creativity to go make ways work in life. To get to that next level, they're going to figure it out. Where, again, he says a lot of rich people's kids usually end up blowing the money and just becoming lazy or not really doing anything because they're in that privileged position. He talks about how as much charity as he's given to the education system and to healthcare and the medical industry, he says he doesn't like giving people just straight money. Like he said, you should never just give somebody money because that does more harm than it does good. Because then that person, they can't think for themselves. They can't try to figure out a way how to get out of their situation if you just give them money. So you just hurt them in the long run. And also with not giving people money, he believes this is where happiness comes from. It's not just from getting a handout. It's actually coming from, you building something, you creating something, you writing a book, you creating that piece of artwork. He says this is where happiness comes from. It's not a handout. It's not somebody just giving you money. It's you going to create things in life. You going to produce things in life. That's what gives people happiness, is by working to produce something. He says that everybody needs to strengthen their belief that even though your starting points do affect the outcome, they don't determine it. Again, so if you grew up poor, or if your parents are poor, that will affect your outcome compared to, if your parents worked on Wall Street or if they were doctors or lawyers. But again, that does not determine the outcome. So it doesn't matter where you start. If you are determined, if you have the belief to get out of your situation, or if you want it bad enough, he was like, you can do it. Anybody can get to that next level or do whatever they want to do. He says even more than wealth, building a good character, having things like ambition, drive, tenacity, motivation, like these things inside of somebody is worth more than, somebody's money or their status. Like just having that type of character inside of you will take you places that money can't go. So with that being said, in the end, everybody has the will to pursue victory, but only those who are determined and ready will actually go out there and win and get that victory. That's pretty much it for letter 1. I really enjoyed this letter. The fact that he understands that, your wealth in society, your class and your status do determine your kid's starting point. But just because you may be starting from the base of the mountain doesn't mean that you can't reach the peak. And so you shouldn't let that deter you from actually trying and going out there and achieving whatever goals you want. So that's it for this one. Hit a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in that next one. Peace.